Alright guys, got the head off, got that cleaned up. It turned out pretty nice. I'm debating whether or not I want to paint it or just leave it like it is. But yeah, I'll give that some more thought. These are the brake drums. This is the front, this is the back. Put those in the parts cleaner, and yeah, I knew it'd probably take a lot of the paint off, which it did, so I may try buffing these up. So this is kind of a before. Brake pads, although dirty, don't look too horribly bad. Muffler's done. It's got a couple of coats on it, coat of primer, and flame, whatever it is, black paint. It's exhaust paint. So making slow but steady progress. I've been cleaning up a bunch of parts and getting that all done. You know, putting these on my prime wheel over there and cleaning them up. Not that. I still got to just clean that by hand, but I've been cleaning up all these bolt heads. This holds the coil. So cleaned that up, painted those. Thought about, that's the same color I was thinking about using if I want to paint the head. Cleaned off the bolt heads. Still got to do a little more cleaning on the engine stuff here, but I'm going to clean my table off a little bit. But the inside of the piston there looks pretty good. There's no scoring or anything. I still need to get my tool out and measure that. And make sure that, well, what size piston I got in it. So, still got to do the case. Did clean up the wire loom. It turned out pretty nice. And a few other things. So, that is the front axle. I'll buff that up and clean it out. And make some more progress with this, but it's slowly getting there. I'm trying to get a lot of this stuff done before I start reassembling it back together. So I still got to do the back fender still, but I am going to actually do a test. I've got some rust, whatever that tank rust stuff is. I forget what it's called, but that'll come to me. I'll add it in here in a little bit. Because that one stuff that I got was super god-awful expensive, and it was like $32 a gallon, and this stuff was like $9 a gallon. So I'm going to try a test. That's why I purposely left this one out and haven't done it yet, so I can do a test on that. And then I just got to get these tires off these rims and start cleaning those up. That's going to be a process. Bunch of steel wool, and yeah, I'm not going to paint them or anything. I'm just going to clean them as best I can. So that's that. And the case here, like I said, my desk is a mess, table's a mess. Clean all my tools off, get my pan back out, and pull these side covers off, clean those up. I may just try to buff them out. I'm not sure yet. I haven't really decided. So back in a minute here. Well, howdy folks. Okay, what I'm going to attempt to do today is, I've got the head off, took this off, put it in the ultrasonic, and then dipped it in the aluminum brightener. So I still got some more cleaning to do on it, but we'll take that in the house and do that in the kitchen sink. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to check the measurement on the piston and see how far off it is. Okay. So what you're going to need is some cylinder measuring tools. These little doohickeys right here. They come in a set. Got them on Amazon. Here's a set of them, complete set. And they range in sizes from like 12 millimeter, 8 millimeter, all the way up to 150 millimeter. Okay, now, yikes. According to the Climber's Manual, right here, it states that on the TC and TS 125s that the cylinder bore should be 56 millimeters. And if there's a difference of 0.05 millimeters, then you need to go up to the next size. So, I mean, looking at the cylinder, let's see here if I can get a picture inside here. Okay, so we're looking inside the cylinder here. I mean, other than being a little bit rusty, I did put some oil on it after I cleaned it. I see no big major scoring or anything like that, so that's a good sign. There's no gouges, anything like that. Piston looks really good. So how these things work, if you've never seen them before, is they got a little screw in here at the bottom, right there where my finger is, and you can loosen it and it'll expand out. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to put this in spots inside your cylinder. So what I'm going to shoot for is we're at about there, about 3/8 of an inch up from the bottom, and it sits down like this. Then we'll do one towards the top and then about halfway down, and that'll kind of give you a rough idea. I'm sure there are better measuring tools out there for checking your cylinders, but this is what I have, and I've used it on a couple of the other bikes, and it's pretty close. So, all right, so we're going to put it down in here, and you're going to kind of move it around. You kind of want to get it centered so the end pieces are sticking out a little bit, so you're not sitting flush with the. See how these things go in like that. So you don't want your piston wall to be sitting on this flat edge here. These are kind of beveled. So we're going to take it in. We're going to stick it down approximately 3/4 of an inch. Kind of get it as straight as you can, and then you want to lock the top and then pull it out. Okay, like so. Then you want to take a digital caliper, okay, and zero it out. Okay, so I don't know if that display is going to show up on there, but we're sitting at 0, and I do have it set to millimeters. And you just want to take it and set it down in the bottom and close it up and see what you're reading. Okay, so this one here is about 55. Let's see here. Kind of tricky to get that thing centered on there. 55.9. 55.94. Give or take. Yep. Alright, so now we're going to flip it over. So mark that as your bottom. And then we'll flip it over to the top. We're going to do the same thing again. And I know they say to kind of move it like this, and get 2 different readings, and you can. So I'm just lining it up down there, make sure it's good and straight. Now, as straight as can be. And we'll measure that one. That one's 55.96. So middle. And then I'll just measure down from the top here, right below the top edge. And that one's right at about 56. 55.9899. Okay. So at the top, we got about a 4, a little bit more taper at the bottom than we do at the top. Not much. Do I feel the need on this to? I mean, this is a standard piston size too, by the way. So, if I want to hone it out, I can, and go up half over, to like a 56.5 millimeter. But with the readings the way that they are, I think I'm just going to leave it as is. It's really not too hard to do these on the bike with the engine back in it. So what I will do is get one of my, let me show you what I have here, if I can find them. I have these flex hone tools, and this one is what size is this one? I think it's 50. I think it's a 55, 56. Let's see here. I'm looking on the box here to see if it actually states on here. Now this is a 54 millimeter, and this is 56. So I don't know how well this is going to fit down in there. But for the purposes of what I want it to do, it may work fine. What this does is it just kind of hones it up a little bit. And it'd be nice if they put a stamp or something on here. But this will go, oh yeah, that'll fit. You know. So you want to grease it up. You know, you can just use motor oil or something like that. And then run it down in here like so. You know, on your drill. And then just, you make like 1 or 2 passes. Okay. And what that will do is put a nice crosshatch on the inside of it. So let me get my drill. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. Well, I'll try to show you exactly what I'm talking about. What I will use is this engine assembly lube. I've had this stuff forever, and I'll grab a paper towel, and I'm just going to coat the inside of this with this lube, so when I run that down, you know, it's lubed up. Alright, so we're going to take this here, this here, alright, and I think that's really all it needs. I don't need much. We'll wipe this out, show you best I can what it looks like down on the inside there now. Alright, so if you're looking, let's see if I can get you a good view. Hopefully that's showing up on the camera, but what it does is it puts some nice cross hatches in there, you know, for oil to get through. So I've had good luck with this thing on a couple of bikes that I've worked on and done, and it works really good. So those are on Amazon too. It's called a flex hone. Like I said, I wish they put on here what size they are, but they don't. So I suppose if you take your little caliper back out and stick it in there, see that says actually 50, 57. 56. It's pretty close, but that'll clean it up nice on the inside, and if you got any rust or anything on there too, it'll help take that off. But yeah, this one's actually in pretty good shape, so I think we're going to call that one. Now if you had to, you can actually just get a hone. Let's see here. Adjustable hone, like one of these, you know, and then run it down in here and just, you know, carefully hone it out, you know, make some passes on it, and then take your measurements again. And obviously you're going to want to get a, you know, new piston, new set of rings. But like I said, with this one, it's actually pretty close to the standard size, and I mean, I'll do, you know, another compression test and stuff once I've got it all back together. But the compression was actually reading pretty good, and the cylinder looks good, the piston looks good, so I'm going to call it at that. So just kind of wanted to show you guys how to do that. I know they do make one of these, something similar, that you can put down in here, and it's got a dial. It's got a dial gauge. It sits on the, let me see if I can get you up here. It's got a dial gauge that sits up on the top here, so as you move it, you know, you can get a reading from side to side. I don't know how much those are, but this is what I've used, and it's worked pretty good. So just thought I'd share that with you guys, and I will continue. Actually, I'm going to take this in the house, clean it up. I've got, well, I got you out here. I got you on the tripod. Let me take you off the tripod. Kind of show you some other stuff. Okay, I got this. Rim is pretty done. It's going to get as clean as it's going to get. So that's ready to go. And I got the Suzuki side cover taken off. I put that on my prime wheels and cleaned that up, so that turned out pretty sharp. Got the side cover off here. I'm going to paint both side covers, but I'm going to put them in the ultrasonic first because I know I think they're painted. So, and then I don't really know what I'm going to do with this body here. I'm going to try some of that aluminum brightener in a spray bottle and spray it and let it drip off and see how that turns out. But, you know, the piston here is pretty good shape. Yeah, it's got some, you know, I can clean it up a little bit, but, you know, it looks pretty good. So that's where I am on that. I still got to do the back wheel. That's coming up. I think I already showed the cylinder head. I have contemplated painting these, but cleaned up all the bolts and everything. But I mean, it looks pretty good, you know, and I'm afraid if I try to paint it, getting it down inside all these fins is kind of a crapshoot, so I think I'll just leave it well enough alone, leave it as it is. So that's where I am at the moment, so stay tuned, be back here shortly. Okay, today we're talking about metal rescue. We're going to see how well this stuff works. Supposedly it's supposed to work really good on chrome stuff. So here are the reflectors for the side. I've had these soaking for a couple of hours, and it seems to be doing a fairly decent job of getting the rust off. Of course, we're going to test that spot right there. Now, I do not have extremely high expectations, and I do not think this stuff is going to be a miracle worker. Yeah, I mean, looking at the back of these things, they're pretty bad, you know, but I'm hoping to get the bulk of it off. And like I said previously, I may end up just powder coating these things versus trying to find somebody to re-chrome them. So this thing here looks pretty rough, you know, so I'm just going to see if it'll eat this rust off of here, and then maybe sand it smooth, and then, you know, I can do some chrome-ish powder coating. But we'll see how these you know, shock tubes turn out. I already got the springs themselves painted and ready to go, but you know, and I'm gonna have to rotate some of this stuff because I only bought a gallon. This stuff's like 32 bucks a gallon, so we're gonna see how well this stuff works out. And you can see the pitting and stuff, which I know it's not going to get rid of the pitting. I'm just curious to see if it gets rid of, you know, the bulk of this rust on here. So anyway, I'm gonna dump these in, and then I'm gonna have to rotate this stuff from time to time because I don't have enough of it to completely submerge all this stuff here. But I'll be back with some updated results. Alright guys, just wanted to show you what these prime wheels do. This is what it looked like. This is after. I did a coarse and a fine. So turns out pretty good. Is it perfect? Nah. But, you know, do I need it to be perfect? No. I actually need to order some more prime wheels. My fine one, which you can kind of see those little spots down there, I'm going to have to hit this again, clean it up a little bit more. But that rides on the inside, so it's covered up a lot by the tire. So up next will be this one, and I do have the new seals down there, which is a real major pain in the butt. And I noticed that this has a tiny little crack in it, but it should go below there and it should be fine. So anyway, just thought I'd give an update on that. Be back. All right, we've made some progress here. Okay, these are the rear shocks, and they have come out pretty nice. Actually, they come out better than I expected. These are the fork ears. Like I said, the inside is, I wish this stuff was magical and brought back chrome, but it's not. So, hey, it is what it is. But all these things come out super good. And here's what I wanted to show you guys. This headlight bucket has been sitting in this stuff, and you can definitely see the line where it is hit and where it hasn't. So, and this is part of the fender, which obviously I have to do in sections. And it definitely cleans it up. Now, I mean, I did, once I got these pieces out, I took some 4-0 steel wool and just kind of went over them. I could put some, like wires, aluminum polish or chrome polish or whatever on them, make them stand out a little bit more. So, the other thing I was working on, I went down to Lowe's today. This bike has a bunch of these grommets. A 4-pack of these grommets on eBay is $9 plus, I don't know, $3 or $4 shipping. So I was hoping I could find something similar to replace all these kind of worn out grommets. I mean, they're not horrible, they're still in piece, but, and then these washers go on top of these grommets. So, and I was missing a few of those. So I got these, which are similar in size, but the center hole is a little bit different, but ultimately I don't think that's going to matter because a bolt goes through those holes anyway. So next up will be, I got to put the rear shocks back together, and these are the forks. I think they came out pretty nice, compared to what they did look like. So pretty happy with that. They got new seals in them, oil, and okay, with the oil and the forks, there's a couple different models of TC125. There's an L, there's a K, there's another one, and I know the one guy, Dale, who I watch, he said his took 195 millimeters, which is about 6, almost 7 ounces. Well, my climbers stated that it was either 185 millimeters, which is like 6.3, 6.4 ounces, something like that, or 100 and, actually, I'll just show you the page. This is for 64 to 71. So if you look, you can see there's a TC and TS 125K, TC-TS 125J, TC 125, TC-TS 125, L, M, and A. One of the two, one takes 185, one takes 195, one takes 125 millimeters. Okay, I have no idea how to tell which model this particular one is, but so I shot, well, I'm gonna go in the middle. I'll try the 6.6. Oh man, that was way too much. So this one here is either an L, M, or an A because it only held 4.2 ounces. And so, needless to say, kitty litter all over the floor here. That was I should have been recording that because everybody would have got a hell of a laugh out of that, because I was trying to pour it back into a container, and of course it was dripping all over the floor. So I got that, and then I had the fork stand here, but of course I didn't have the cap or anything on at the top. And I accidentally pushed down on it, and this stuff shot out of there like a geyser. So I had fork oil everywhere. But yeah, kitty litter works great, guys, so always keep that on hand. But anyway, I'm getting ready to put these forks together and then have that piece of it done. And I think I'm just going to save the engine for a little bit later, because I'd like to get some of the pieces that I've got over here, like well, I gotta wait for the front fender to get done put that one on. But you know, the battery boxes, the foot pegs, and got a hell of a deal on one of these foot pegs. I only paid 10 bucks for it on eBay. It was actually on auction, and I bid $12, and I was the highest bidder at 10. So I got one of those, and it's brand spanking new. So I may put that on the TS 125. That's the rear. I still need to get a pair of the other sides, which are a little bit different style. But anyway, I need to take a wire brush to that exhaust, get that cleaned up, wipe down, and see if I've got enough exhaust paint. I think I do. I don't know. I need to look over there and kind of get this thing painted, get that going, and get the skid plate on, which no, I'm going to have to wait for that because the engine's got to go in. Well, no, I should be able to put that on and just not put two of those brackets right there on. Or put, I can put a bolt through them, just not tighten them down. And start getting some of this stuff back together. And then I want to work on the front tire, that one there. I want to work on that one first, which reminds me I got to bring my tires in from out back because they're sitting outside. I'll let them warm up in the garage. And then the back, I do have a new sprocket for the rear and some other parts, but this may be for the TS 125. But get all this stuff cleaned up. I don't know if I'm going to buff these out or just clean them up and leave them the color that they are. I mean, they're okay looking. I'll clean them up and see how they look. I still got to clean up the back axle, put that in the ultrasonic, and get all those cleaned up. And that's it, guys. Start putting some of this stuff back on this bike. So be back here in a minute.